though is Mike and I, we did give like a bit, we did tease a bit of an announcement that we were waiting for you to share because it was such a big announcement for school.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
oh,
were on
yeah.
here when he broke the.
We
Yeah.
were
So,
waiting for you to break your good news.
Yes.
yeah, I guess with that one, I got accepted into a master's program. So
Yeah,
I will be starting
right.
that in the spring. So I will be going back
There
to
you go.
school and getting more educated through the scholastic
hmm
setting.
Look
Get a
at
little
you
more debt in
using
there
big
too.
words
Get a little bit
finally.
more debt in me. Get a little bit more crying nights of college, but this is a lot
Yeah,
harder.
crying nights in depth coming our way.
This one, at least, it's
uh,
it's what you're going for. The master's is
yeah,
just classes
so that's
based
why
on
like
what you're
yeah, that's why I
going
did
to.
it because master programs are more or MBAs or anything like that will be more geared towards what you want to do
Yeah,
There you
rather
go.
than taking astronomy when you're not in any
yeah.
type of way in a
Yeah.
When you have to
science
take
related.
some history course because you need the credits for that, that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly. I liked
That
history though. I didn't
oh
mind
dude,
history.
I
I
hate
was
it.
good at history. I was
I
good at
liked
history.
history,
I
and
suck at history.
I liked mine, especially my last year at Bloom, because my one professor was always sick, and we would
Uh,
have like one class a week. Because the next
Are you
class she
serious?
would be sick and just cancel classes. Like, okay,
From what? Did
I
she
really?
don't know,
just get sick?
but she
That's
had
crazy.
something wrong with her. I don't know.
That's a nice one, but she just had something wrong with her.
She
But
just got
no,
sick
because
a lot. I don't know.
that
I
sucks.
guess
But
for some reason she just was in poor health a lot that semester. So
how many history classes did you guys have to take?
I
I
took
took
like
3 or 4.
the one was
I
for
only had to take
requirement, the other one was
one.
just for funsies. And I
What?
took two.
Why would you take history class for fun?
I
What's
liked it.
wrong
To
with
I
learn
was
you?
about
good at
our
history too.
past, sir.
Yeah,
Oh,
gotta
good for
learn. Gotta
you.
be educated about the system. I don't know where I was going
See,
with that one.
I didn't think I was going to get made fun of because I wanted to learn more about our history. Okay.
Let's see.
Well, guess what?
Jeff's just the one that doesn't like
Yeah,
because he's
Jeff.
not good
Yeah,
at it.
Jeff's too good
that's
about his
exactly
history.
right.
Yeah.
Like he's just like I hate this because I suck at it.
Well,
All right. Well,
I did that with
here's
math.
the other thing.
Once I was good with the credits for math, I was just okay. I'm done. No
There
more
you go.
math.
But
Yeah,
no,
once I
for
pass it, I'm
my
out.
oh no, definitely. But for my one history class, is freshman year, and our professor wasn't that great. So the way she did her notes on, she'd use PowerPoint, which is great. But I don't know if you guys had any professors like this where she had slides about certain topics, but literally it mentions the topics, and there's nothing else on the PowerPoint. So it says,
Yeah,
like
most of my professors were like that with notes. They wouldn't put
yeah,
all of them on there. It's mostly just so you're actually paying attention to what they're talking about.
well, no, for sure. But
And
again, she
just
talked about
whatever is like
so much
important, you just
detail.
write that down, especially when they
Right.
emphasize it more.
No, for sure. That I got, but it's like it just got annoying because during, again, this is my first semester, not only that, but this is also when I hurt my shoulder, so I couldn't write. And
Mm.
so, because I had to be in sync for a couple weeks. And of course, I asked one of my friends to take notes for me. They did a shitty job taking notes. So I had to keep bouncing around asking people to take different notes for me because, no, people were bad at taking notes. Also,
They
she
didn't allow
was
you to
really
bring a
weird.
laptop.
No, I had my laptop, but
Why
I
don't you
have
just
one
take?
arm.
You can't type with one arm.
Yeah, yeah, right. You can't.
Not really,
Like when
Whitmer, Mr.
It just
Perfect.
takes longer, but you can
it
still
takes
do
longer
it.
because yeah,
Dude, literally,
uh,
it would be like
especially if
one
there's not
letter at
much
a time. It's
stuff on the PowerPoint.
well, no, no. The problem is she would. There's like nothing on the PowerPoint, but she would go in depth with each topic, and she would
Right.
like spend like 20, like 15 minutes almost on each topic, and it was hard to pinpoint. Oh, like again, this is my first semester at ESU, so I was like still learning college, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Right. What was the history
But
class?
Yeah, no, I remember. So it is hard because I remember when I broke my collarbone, and that was my right arm. So
yeah,
I just couldn't write literally for like
right.
4 months. I couldn't write. I also failed like 2 classes because of that. But
I never
anyway,
hurt my shoulder, so I never had that problem.
Because of your broken collarbone, you failed two classes. I love
I
it.
failed. I failed math because I broke my collarbone.
Yep.
Because after I broke it, I had to do everything mentally. So I had to do all the
Okay.
math
Get
in my
it?
head.
Yep.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
allow it.
Yeah, sorry, it took me a second. I was like, what? But
So
I
like
got you
basically,
now.
when you can like write down, you can write everything down. I
Yeah.
couldn't do that
Yeah.
Okay, that's
And
fair.
most
because I
of for
had my
math
left hand, and
purposes,
I
yeah, that
can't
makes
write with
sense. Yeah.
I can't write with my left hand, so I had to get a
No, I can't
tutor.
either.
I had to get like a tutor or whatever to write it down for me. So basically, I had to do all the math in my head and then tell her what I wanted.
Right.
Dude, that is awful.
That was awful. I wasn't allowed to use a calculator either.
What?
Awful.
I do know some math professors that are like that. Like, no, you can't use calculators.
Well, then I'm failing right away. So
yeah,
I
you might as well drop the course.
In the middle of my class, in one of my tests, I was struggling so hard with it. I told her, I was like, Amanda. She's like, yeah. I was like, I'm done. She's like, you finished like 15 questions. I'm like, no, I'm done. Like, fail me. I put my pencil down, grabbed everything in, I walked out.
Did you just walk out? Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's like she packed everything up and she's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "I'm done." I walked out. I was there for 15 minutes. I walked out.
Nice.
I was like, I'm not passing this.
I'm not
gonna put myself through that. I was like, I'm not gonna put myself through that and fail. Like,
no,
I know I'm gonna fail, so why sit through there and know I'm gonna fail
and torture yourself even more?
Yeah, and then I did bad for my English, my freshman year English class as well because my broken column. My professor said I couldn't use my computer. I had to handwrite all my journals, and I had like 6 journals left, and each one had to be like 2 paragraphs long. Yeah. So she said I couldn't use my computer because I told her I broke my collarbone. She's like, well, and do you know what her response was? Won't forget that. She's like, well, that's an extracurricular activity. That's not my fault. I'm like, okay.
Are you serious?
So
that's such a.
Well, I'm playing cobbled here, so.
So what happened was I actually had my mom write it for me. So I couldn't write. She's like, you have to write. I'm like, I can't write. I literally told my professor, I'm like, I'm the writing.
I proved to her. I was your professor.
I proved to my professor I couldn't write with my left hand. I showed her.
Well, yeah, like if you're trying and you literally, if you're not.
And she's like, you can't. And she's like, yeah, you just have to write it out. I'm like, I'm having someone else do it.
Are you not seeing what I'm seeing? My collarbone is broken. Right. I'm in a sling for 4 months. How do you
I was in sling
not
for 6 months.
Sorry, 6 months, even worse. How do you not?
But I mean, like, I was out of school at part of that. It was like December. And I wasn't in. But anyway.
I feel that professor as one of the worst professors I've ever even heard of. I don't even know who this person is.
I broke it
awful.
I broke it like late October.
Yeah.
I broke it like October 20th, something like that. And so I was in this, and then till like
April,
mid-December, I was in class.
Oh, okay, I got you now.
So I had another like 2.5 months of class.
Right.
Yikes.
Which was all my finals. I was in a sling for.
Dude, that's awful.
But anyway, no, for history, I'll tell a really funny story about history. A really good one.
Oh no.
So I was down at Coastal for this. 2 of my buddies, our second semester there, we all decided to take the same class because we needed a history course, right? And we signed up for.
I remember this.
We signed up for a class called Civilizations 2.
Oh yeah,
which is post Civil War to modern day.
Yeah.
Right. So you learn about the Reconstruction era, and then you move on, stuff like that, right? And so we're sitting there, we're learning, and the first day my professor comes in. He was really cool. His name was Larry. Love that guy.
Larry.
Larry.
What a name.
He did a KISS. He did KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
So he had 5 exams.
Hurts my feelings every time.
There's true references there.
He has 5 exams. Well, he had 5 exams, and you could fail 1. But anyway, so what happened was,
it's pretty cool.
We walk in for the first week, which is it's 3 times a week. All right, so it's 6 classes in 2 weeks. So we were in there. The first class, we started learning about like civilization of like the Mayflower and all this stuff, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like, maybe we're just getting the background. All right, maybe just getting the background. Yeah. So some people are stupid. Just getting the background, and let alone my 2 friends and I were the stupid people because the 6th class. So we're 2 weeks in. It's Friday, so we're 2 weeks into class. Halfway through our 6th class, I raise my hand and I say, because my 3 friends we're all like confused. And I raise my hand and he's like, yeah. I was like, so when are we learning about post-Civil War, like the Reconstruction era? He's like, oh, that's Civilizations 2, not 1. I'm like, yeah, we're in 2, right? He's like, no, we're in 1. And my buddies and I are, makes sense. He's like, you guys thought you were in 2. We're like,
did you guys not look at the syllabus and see?
Yeah, right.
It took you 2 weeks to realize this.
It took us 2 weeks.
To realize
also, mind you,
one instead of a 2.
I pulled a 3.6 my first semester. So
Oops.
That just went all down the hill as soon as it took me 2 weeks to realize I wasn't in the class I thought I was doing. Also, mind you, we already had an exam. So I took an exam not knowing what period we were learning.
So how'd you do on the exam?
The funny thing is, so I failed 2 of my 5 quizzes. Like, failed.
Yeah.
Failed. I still passed with like a B somehow.
That's impressive.
Or no, I can't remember. My
me
buddy
B's.
failed. My friend failed 3 of the 5 exams.
Yikes.
Failed. Like
Wait,
a
quizzes
30 or
or
40
exams that you failed?
exams. Like he only had 5 exams.
Yeah.
There were no quizzes. There were 5 exams.
Gotcha.
And there was no homework.
So technically, he only failed 2 exams because the one you said you can.
Yes, you can. But then you
Yikes.
still failed 2 exams. He's passed.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I'm not saying I'm saying he failed as in like he got like 30s.
Oof.
And when he passed, he got like 70s and maybe an 80
And a below
here and
failure.
there.
Yeah.
Like he barely passed,
Mhm.
or he like failed hard, and he still passed, and we still make fun of him because we're like, we don't know how you passed that class. Like, because mathematically, he shouldn't have passed.
Yeah. How did he
No.
pass? That doesn't make
That
any
doesn't
sense.
None
make
of us
sense
know.
at all.
We don't know how he passed because if he failed 2 exams, he would have failed the class immediately
Yeah.
because there was nothing else to do. No matter what, if he got 100% on both his exams at the end, it would have evened out. Even though like his one was like he got like a 50 something, so like you can still add them up points wise, but like still, even if he pulled all those points together, he wouldn't have passed. And he didn't ace the 2 exams, so
Wow.
we don't know how he passed. Because he was like, "Yeah, guys, I passed." We were like,
How?
No, you didn't.
I'm like, "No, you didn't." He's like, "Yeah, I did." I'm like, "No, you failed 3 exams out of 5, which means you failed 2 of the 4,
Right.
and you
Like,
shouldn't have passed."
Yeah. Even if
That
you would have
doesn't
thought of
add
that,
up.
even if he passed the other 2 and got like 100 on it, you'd still thought he would have failed it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, "Did you did?" But he did, and none of us know how. But it was just funny how we
It
spent
took
2 weeks
2
in
weeks.
class.
Yeah. I don't know how that.
2 weeks.
Dude, that's awesome.
Well, I mean, it took you 3
Took
minutes
2
to realize
weeks.
the power's out when he
Yeah.
cooked some eggs.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad too. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened.
But that does remind me, because I was going to kind of go into a little segment here of just another topic about college classes and everything. Have you guys ever had a moment where, it's kind of the thing about where you fail, but you fail like so hard, but basically it's like, oh, you think you did really well and you failed kind of thing?
Every 101 class.
There you go. What a response. Everyone one class.
Astronomy.
Oh, dude, I remember you took that. That was awful. But no, there's this one
Jeff Goodhead.
math class that I took, and it's basically like a probability and statistic class my
I hate
junior
prop
year.
stat.
Dude, it wasn't.
I took that too.
Here's
Like,
the
I
issue.
pulled like a B
Shouldn't
in it,
have
but that was
been
hard.
a bad class, but the way my professor taught it, who was a small Russian lady, she taught it like a 300 level class or even a 400 level class when it was only a 100 level class, and that pissed everybody off. I even told to my friends, I'm like, dude, I'm prepared to
Can
buy
you inner Ivan?
No, clearly not. But no, I was telling them, I was like, dude, I'm so tempted. I hate this class so much. I'm tempted to bribe her with 2 handles of vodka just to give me a passing grade. I don't care what she gives me, just not even an A, just to give me a passing grade.
2 vodkas, maybe some cocaine. You would have been good.
I agree with that.
If I threw the cocaine in, I would have gotten an A+.
Oh, definitely.
But anyway, no, so we were going, because after every exam, we would go over answers and everything to go through our whole test on, and if anyone had a question about, just if one of the questions didn't make sense to them that they got wrong, we could raise our hands. A lot of people got this one question wrong, but we were looking, and we looked at examples, and as we do, we're like, oh, this person's an idiot. They got this so wrong. Like, the answer was so out there.
Right.
And
I remember the story.
And the person, and we're going over this one, and then our professor's like, where do you even get these numbers? I don't understand this. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And everyone's laughing it off. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, dude, whoever this is complete dumbass. And I kept looking, I'm like, this looks familiar. I look down, I'm like, oh, I'm that dumbass. And I just didn't say anything. I'm just like, oh no, that's me. I'm just like, shit.
No, one stats class I took, because it was my senior year, I stopped caring, so I failed that class miserably. Just because I stopped caring.
I just stopped caring.
Wait, you just stopped. How do you stop caring?
I stopped going to classes, and I only showed up when I had tests and quizzes.
Yeah, I still went to all my classes.
That's like the ultimate Brian move right there.
It was an 8
I went to every
morning class. I wanted to sleep in, okay?
Dude, I don't blame you, but it's your senior year.
Bro,
you was already going to graduate, okay? Okay?
You didn't graduate till the summer.
Yeah, that's...
That wasn't because I failed math. That was because I failed language.
Not only that, but to be fair, that was the university's fault, not his fault. They didn't tell him he failed the class.
That is accurate. Yep.
Oh my god!
I still passed.
I do. So
I do think I'm an underachiever here. Come on.
You right.
The funny thing for my astronomy course, Jeff loves the story, was that for exam we had like math and stuff like that in it, of course, and like what I was told is that I asked him the highest level of math you need to have for this class. And he's like, because I had already trigonometry and stuff like that. I never took calc though. But I had like prop stat and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, if I can do like that, I'll be good. But if you give me like calc or anything like that, I'm screwed. And he's like, no, you just need plain simple algebra. I'm like he's like, I'm like, oh, cool. I ace algebra. I'm really good at it. And then there's all these little symbols across, like in an equation. And there's like 2 numbers in the equation. That's all there is, like 2 numbers. And I was like, is that going to be on the exam? He's like, no. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yes, you don't need to know this. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just showing you. There and behold, 2 days later, we're taking the exam, and there's the equation sitting smack dab in the middle of the paper, and it tells me I need to solve it. I drew a question mark on it.
Nice.
I literally wrote, I don't understand these symbols. With a question mark. We all handed the exams later. A couple days, like a week goes by, he hands them back to us, and he says, "Okay, guys, I curved the exam because no one did as well as I thought." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "I curved it 25 points. 25 points. He curved it. It's a lot of points." And then so I get mine back, and I'm sitting there. And I raised my hand, and because a lot of us were like, "Oh shit!" Like, we failed, and I had like a 50. I was like, "Oh, but he's gonna add 25. Cool." I raised my hand, and I'm like, "So when are you adding it? Are you gonna add it like later?" He's like, "I already added it." I'm like, "You already added the 25 points to our exams?" He's like, "Yeah," and you heard the entire class say like, "Fuck." Everyone said like "shit," "fuck," or something like that. All that like or groaned.
Some expletives were said.
So
feelings were
he
hurt.
said that, and I got like a 25 on the exam without support. And I didn't think I did that bad, but I guess I did. There goes Jeff. And 2 people in the entire class passed, but they got 70s. That means we all failed the original exam without support.
So that probably 25
kids. 25 kids failed. All of us failed.
That's just...
I won't forget it. Raise my hand. So when are you curving the grade? I already did. Oh.
Oh.
I was like, oh shit.
I think I would just walked out.
But I'll turn that around. I got a B in the class. Got an 88.
Hey. There you go.
God.
I don't know how. Like that was a really bad day.
Dude,
Or I didn't have a better one than that.
Wait, how do you top that, man?
My freshman year.
God, how do you?
You know how they send the papers to like after your first semester or whatever home?
Wait, say that again.
You know how after your first semester freshman year they send stuff home, like your grades and stuff like that?
Sure. I'm
like,
drawing blank
because they email you. They'll like mail you like your semester grades, right?
Oh yeah.
it's like if they don't come online sometimes, they'll mail it to you.
Right.
So you have like a physical copy. So
Yeah.
I came home from like going out with people or whatever. I might have been with you or something. I came home though, and my parents were like, "Oh, we got your grades from the semester," or or they had my account number, or regardless, they had it.
Yeah.
And they're like, "So Brian, how'd you do?" I was like, "Oh, I did great. Got A's and B's. Maybe like a C." They're like, "Really, Brian?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "We know your grades." I'm like, "Oh, I failed." They caught me like literally red-handed. I was like, awesome. "I did really well. A's and B's, Brian. We know your grades." Oh, I did horrible.
I lied.
I lied.
I just want to see what you're
I
actually.
lied.
Like that was like I think the first time like I got caught like hard. They were like I straight up lied to their faces, like straight face lied, and then they were like, "You're lying, Brian." I'm like,
It's like, yeah, you right.
Yeah, you're right. I got one C. The rest were D's and F's.
That's better.
It's either try to continue that lie and see if they actually know your grades, or they're like, okay, or do we just take it and like, yeah, I failed.
Well, because I saw the piece of paper in their hand, and I was like,
I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Like, so what happened? I was like, I just didn't do well. But Mom, Dad, I'll be honest right now. If you ever watch this, be honest, Mom, Dad, if you ever watch this, I went out like 4 nights a week.